track cars, autocross cars, and people that just want specific specs.
So some of the different setups you can do for an alignment are like a drift alignment, a drag alignment, or a road course alignment, and then even autocross is different from a road course alignment. So typically we do a lot of road course racing. So we set up the cars just a little bit more aggressive than street stuff. And then when you start getting into the extremes like drift alignments or autocross alignments, the drift alignments, you want a lot of negative camber up front, and a lot, almost no toe all the way around. And then for like an autocross alignment, you want aggressive camber up front too, but you also want some toe in the rear to help with turn it, because you're cornering at a lot lower rate of speed than you would be on like a road course where everything is cambered, all the corners are nice and smooth, and so you have maximum grip. So that's where different specs come into play for different applications.
The reason a drift car has excessive camber in the front is because it sees the wheels at full lock the majority of the time, and it needs additional camber to keep the front wheels flat on the ground and have as much surface area as possible. The cons of having aggressive specs on a track car are excessive tire wear from having too much toe in or having excessive negative camber that also causes tire wear. But the biggest contributing factor is toe in.
So the majority of the cars that we do track or race alignments on are road course cars, and typically with those cars we run anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 negative front camber depending on the application. All cars are different. All cars require different specs depending on their handling characteristics. So that's something you always have to keep in the back of your mind. But with that being said, we have a good basis point, which is anywhere from -2.5 to 3.5 camber up front, and a little bit of toe in, and then in the rear we usually go from 2 to 2.5 negative camber, a little bit of toe in the rear as well, and then we typically like to see as much caster as we can get with keeping everything else in spec. And the reason we shoot for a lot of caster is because it helps with high-speed stability, and it also allows the wheels to camber more when you turn going around corners, which increases corner grip. So that's kind of the gist of, that's like our base spec setup for any of our road course cars. And that's the 3 series that we have, the E46 that we built. A lot of those guys are right in that realm, and then a lot of the portions we do as well are right in that area as well. Caster varies depending on the chassis, but that's the bulk of it.
Heavier vehicles, typically ones that are towing something behind them, have additional toe in to provide extra stability in a straight line especially, and along with a lot of ruts and rough roads around our area, we like to provide additional toe in to keep the car from wandering. But there's a fine line, because if you have too much toe, your tires will wear too quickly.
We're talking about racing alignments. You're new to this, don't look at the camera.